welcome back. My name is Courtney and this is the Accounting Struggle, where we speak about our struggles with accounting openly and honestly. We do not run from them. And today I'm going to be talking to you about studying for the CPA exam while you're working full-time. So of course this is very difficult, but it is doable. People do it all the time. I did it, and if I can do it, literally anyone can do it. So the most important step you have to take when you're deciding how you're going to study for the CPA exam and work full-time is considering what your work schedule is like. If you are in public accounting, there are peak times and huge deadlines that are going to be controlling your life and controlling your schedule, and that's just being real. And this is one of those times. Right now it's January and it's the end of January, so busy season is fully in effect for both audit and tax. And so if you're working in public accounting, from now until either late March or mid-April, studying for the CPA exam would be a joke. Unless you work for a unicorn firm that I've never heard of, you're going to be working way too many hours to try and go home or study on the weekends, because there are no weekends when you work public accounting. Every day is tax day. Every day is audit day. It's what you do when you wake up. It's what you do before you go to bed. It's just your life, and that's fine. You knew what it was when you signed up. So don't study or don't try to study for the exam while you're in busy season. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm sure there are people who would tell you that they did it and it worked for them, but I think that it would create more stress than necessary, and you don't want to be trying to study for the CPA exam under intense stress, because it's already intense and stressful and a lot of pressure. So don't add more stress than you need to. So just consider, what are the busiest times of the year and when can I study? When is it a little bit more steady? When can I expect things to slow down? So if you work in an industry where you know where your peaks and valleys are, pull out your schedule, pull out your planner, and get some view in front of you of how this year is going to look. Because you know, the CPA exam, you have 18 months to pass all 4 sections. That sounds like a lot of time, but I promise you it's not, especially if you're up against busy season and then extension season if you're in tax. So that together is about 6 months. So realistically, you have half a year to finish it, and then, you know, the next year. But it's a lot of sections. Those months, they zip by. I've lost 2 sections before, so it definitely does happen. So map out, you know, how are you going to be able to tackle this? Okay, I have May and June, and then I have August, September. You know, just think about it like that. And if you are in a job where you're working like 9 to 5, or you have a pretty steady schedule, then I would say it's lit because you know exactly when you can study. You have it all mapped out. You can study. Your schedule can be beautiful and like consistent throughout the whole time, and you can get a lot more done a lot faster. So another thing that you want to consider is the sections that you're taking and when you're taking them. FAR is the longest section. It has 10 chapters of material to go through. A lot of stuff. I mean, y'all know, we've talked about FAR. FAR is horrible. I've hated every minute of FAR, but you do need at least, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks to prepare for FAR, no more than 3 months. Anything longer than that, I think you are setting yourself up to start forgetting material. I just think that that's too much time. I would try to keep it under 3 months, 2 months, 2.5 at the most. But you can do it if you're studying full-time, if you're putting in a lot of consistent hours, and you're looking at the materials every day. You can get FAR out of the way in like 2 months. And then with Reg, that's the next largest section. That's 8 chapters. And it has a lot of, that's tax, so it has a lot of information on it. Reg, you should be able to get done within a month. I would say 4 to 6 weeks. You can definitely do it. Again, it's all about your strategy. And then with audit and BEC, those usually take about the same amount of time. They have about the same amount of material, and there's a ton of overlap. But for me, those are about the amount of times that I spent on it when I was passing. When I was failing, that's another story. So then just take all of that. Now you know what your peak times are, when you shouldn't study, what times to block off, and when you're going to study. Now, you can take that and consider that with the testing windows that are open and drill down, and now you can actually plan out your study schedule. I think this is a really important step, because if you don't have a plan for how you're going to study each section, then you can oftentimes just be wandering around in the wilderness, not really accomplishing anything, taking too much time, taking not enough time. You really need to have a very focused study schedule where you're like, in 2 weeks I need to be here, in 3 weeks I need to be here, I need to have reviewed this much by this time. That's very important to set those types of goals, because the CPA exam works that way. If you don't have everything down to a science and you can't answer these questions within a certain amount of minutes, you're not likely to be able to pass this exam. So you really want to be considering that, like, okay, on these weeks I'm gonna tackle these 3 modules and it's gonna take me this much time. So really be looking at how long the study materials say it should take per section, per module, per chapter, whatever. Most of them will tell you that, and consider that when you are planning out your schedule. You really want to be very, very specific and very strategic, so that way you can make adjustments. If you say, okay, by now I should be on chapter 4 and I'm still on chapter 2, I need to cancel my plans for this weekend, or I need to pick up some extra study hours during my lunch break, or what have you. But you need to have that as a guide to tell you if you're on track or not. Because if you don't have that, you won't know if you're going to be prepared until it's the week of your exam and you're like, I ain't ready for this. And that's too late. So be considerate of every single chapter, every single module, every single section. Be thinking about how much time you should be spending on that and plan according to it. The next thing I would do is tell everybody that you're studying. Everybody in your sphere, everybody that's in your life. So your family, your friends, and the people at work. Let them know, hey, you know, this is what I'm working on. I expect to be done and wrapping this up by X amount of time. But if you see me darting out the door every day at 5 o'clock, it's because I'm going to study, not because I'm going to happy hour. Letting people know that at work, one, it keeps you accountable, but it also helps them to understand what it is you're working on. If you don't tell people, it leaves them space to draw conclusions. If you get off at 5 and you leave at 5, then that's fine. But if you don't have that type of schedule, which most accountants don't, it just makes it look like, well, where's she going? She'll never stay. She'll never help out. She'll never be here on the weekends. She's not ever putting in the hours. She's not as committed and as dedicated as the other people. If they don't know, they're left to draw conclusions. Don't leave them space to do that. Tell people what you're working on. Let people know, all of your family and friends, like, hey, I love y'all. I wish I could come, but I can't. I still, to this day, I'm not getting invited to stuff because people have forgotten that I'm done with the CPA, and I actually would say yes to some of it. So people just, after a while, they stop inviting me, which is fine. So just let people know, hey, I really wish I could hang out, but I'm gonna have to fall back for a little while. I'm not gonna see y'all as much because for the next 6 months or however many months, I'm gonna be preparing for the CPA exam. It's gonna take so much focus. Just know that I love and miss y'all, and I can't wait for us to get together when it's all done. We're gonna turn up, it's gonna be lit. And if you just let them know that going into it, it will make for a much smoother ride, so that every time they're calling you like, hey girl, we want to go out for drinks, or if they're like, why you don't never holler at us no more, what's going on, they won't have to do that. Again, you're leaving, don't leave space to draw conclusions. Let people know what's going on in your life. And the next thing that helps with is accountability. If they see you slacking off, if they're real friends, if they're real family, they'll say, what are you doing out? Supposed to be studying. And so that really helps. If you have people in your life that know what you're working on, they're cheering for you, they're praying for you, they're in your circle, and they're in your corner, and they're like, we love you, you got this. That really helped me a lot when people were like, well, I'm praying for you, girl. I know you can do it. It means more than you really could know. So don't be trying to go through this journey by yourself, because it just, no. Don't do that. And the most important thing about studying for the CPA exam while you're working full-time is just know this is going to take work. It's not going to be the same journey as like if you didn't have a job and this was all you had to do and this was the one big thing in your life that you were working on. But for a lot of people, it's not just I have a full-time job. It's I have a full-time husband and a full-time kids, and I am doing X, Y, and Z at work. And then I have these side hustles or whatever else is going on in your life. Your life doesn't stop just because you're studying for the CPA exam. So just understand that this is going to take some compromise. It's going to take a lot of dedication and commitment, a little less sleep, and a little less fun. A lot less fun. Okay, no fun. You're not going to have fun. But it will be worth it in the end. I cannot tell you how many times I wanted to just give up on the CPA journey and just be like, I'm good. I'm not gonna do it. But I can honestly say that it was truly worth it. All the work, all the sacrifice, all the dedication. You will eventually get there. You just have to be super committed, so focused, and have a very good plan. Stay with it. Don't quit it. Wow, I don't know why y'all like me. But yeah, that's all. I just want y'all to stay encouraged and keep going on this journey. Talk to me. Let me know where you are. If you're passing, I want to hear about it. That is, like, I'm going to be so hyped to hear from y'all. If y'all are passing sections and you're like, yes, I'm done with this section. And like, I want to hear from y'all. So let me know how it's going. Keep me posted. And best of luck to you. Don't go crazy. Self-care. Keep that in there. And yeah, let me know how it's going. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you got something out of it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.